The grandeur of the Roman Empire, with its Caesars and Augusti from Caligula to Constantine, often overshadows the foundation upon which it was built. But as Gibbon rightly pointed out, before the emperors and their dynasties, there were the consuls, the men who saved Rome from the tyranny of the Tarquins, subjugated Latium and Etruria, defended Rome against Brennus and Pyrrhus, united Italy, razed Carthage, and conquered the Hellenistic world. These unsung heroes of Rome deserve recognition, and in this first installment of our series, Top 7 in Rome, we'll explore the top 7 consuls who shaped Roman history. Our ranking follows specific rules. Only achievements during their term as consuls are considered, including their actions as dictators when applicable. We'll exclude consuls after 53 BC, when Pompey was given power over Rome, effectively reducing the consulship to a puppet position. With these parameters in mind, let's delve into the lives and accomplishments of these remarkable individuals. It's fitting to begin our list with one of the founders of the Roman Republic, Lucius Junius Brutus. In 509 BC, Brutus led the overthrow of the last Roman king, Tarquinius Superbus, following the rape of Lucretia by the king's son. This event marked the end of the Roman kingdom and the birth of the Roman Republic. As one of the first consuls, Brutus established the foundations of the new government. He introduced the concept of 2 annually elected consuls to prevent the concentration of power in a single individual. Brutus also implemented the right of appeal, provocatio, which allowed citizens to appeal decisions made by magistrates to the People's Assembly. Perhaps Brutus's most significant act as consul was his unwavering commitment to the new republic. When his own sons were implicated in a plot to restore the monarchy, Brutus, as consul, ordered their execution. This act, while brutal by modern standards, demonstrated the supremacy of the state over personal ties and set a precedent for the dedication expected from Roman leaders. While better known for his oratory and writings, Cicero's consulship in 63 BC was marked by his successful suppression of the Catilinarian conspiracy, a plot to overthrow the Roman Republic led by the disgruntled patrician Lucius Sergius Catilina. Cicero's vigilance and political maneuvering exposed the conspiracy. Through a series of speeches known as the Catiline Orations, he persuaded the Senate to take decisive action against the conspirators. His swift and resolute response, culminating in the execution of key conspirators, earned him the title Pater Patriae, Father of the Country. While the methods Cicero employed were controversial and would later be used against him, his actions during his consulship undoubtedly preserved the Roman Republic at a critical juncture, delaying its eventual fall by several decades. Sulla's consulship in 88 BC and his subsequent actions as dictator had far-reaching consequences for the Roman Republic. While his march on Rome in 88 BC occurred after his consulship, the roots of this action and its implications are inextricably linked to his time as consul. During his consulship, Sulla secured command of the war against Mithridates, the sixth of Pontus. However, his political rival, Gaius Marius, maneuvered to have this command transferred to himself. In response, Sulla did the unthinkable. He marched his legions on Rome, effectively using the army as a political tool for the first time in Roman history. This act, while not during his consulship, was a direct result of political conflicts that arose during his term. It set a dangerous precedent that would be followed by future generals, including Julius Caesar, ultimately contributing to the fall of the Republic. Breaking the typical age requirements for consulship, Scipio was elected at the remarkably young age of 31 in 205 BC, primarily due to his promise to drive the Carthaginians out of Iberia. His Iberian campaign, initially believed to be a suicide mission, turned out to be a masterpiece of military brilliance and marked the first step in Rome's recovery during the Second Punic War. As consul, Scipio proposed and executed the bold strategy of taking the war to Africa, effectively forcing Hannibal to abandon Italy and return to defend Carthage. This culminated in the Battle of Zama in 202 BC, where Scipio decisively defeated Hannibal, ending the Second Punic War and earning him the honorific Africanus. Scipio's consulship not only turned the tide of the war, but also expanded Roman influence in the Mediterranean. His victories in Spain and Africa laid the groundwork for Rome's eventual domination of these regions. Known as Cunctator, the delayer, Fabius Maximus played a crucial role during the Second Punic War. While not as flashy as Scipio Africanus, Fabius's leadership and strategies kept Rome from collapsing under Hannibal's onslaught. Fabius had already served 2 consulships before Hannibal's invasion of Italy. During the war, as both consul and dictator, he employed delaying tactics that frustrated Hannibal's attempts to draw the Romans into a decisive battle. And this strategy, later known as Fabian strategy, involved harassing the enemy, cutting off their supply lines, and avoiding direct confrontation. His approach was initially unpopular, earning him the derisive nickname Cunctator. However, it proved effective in wearing down Hannibal's forces and buying time for Rome to recover from earlier defeats. Fabius's tactics ultimately contributed significantly to Rome's eventual victory in the Second Punic War. Caesar's year as consul in 59 BC, while seemingly less eventful than his later adventures in Gaul and beyond, laid the groundwork for his future conquests and the transformation of the Roman Republic. During his consulship, Caesar pushed through significant land reforms, redistributing public lands to veterans and the urban poor. He also reformed the administration of Roman provinces, changes that would remain largely unchanged until Diocletian's reforms some 300 years later. Perhaps most importantly, Caesar used his consulship to consolidate the First Triumvirate, granting political favors to Pompey and Crassus. He also secured for himself the command of Roman forces in Gaul, providing him with the army he would use to conquer Gaul, subjugate Britain, and ultimately bring about the end of the Roman Republic. Holding the record for most consulships in the Republican era with an astonishing 7 terms, Gaius Marius was a pivotal figure in Roman history. While one of his consulships was controversially obtained and lasted only 17 days, his other 6 were vital for Rome's survival and expansion. During his first consulship in 107 BC, Marius successfully concluded the Jugurthine War, capturing the Numidian king, Jugurtha. However, his most significant contribution came during his subsequent consulships, when Rome faced an existential threat from Germanic tribes, the Cimbri and the Teutones. Marius implemented sweeping military reforms, known as the Marian Reforms, which professionalized the Roman army. He opened military service to landless citizens, standardized equipment, and reorganized the legion structure. In 102 and 101 BC, during his 4th and 5th consulships, Marius decisively defeated the Teutones at the Battle of Aquae Sextiae and the Cimbri at the Battle of Vercelli, saving Rome from a potentially catastrophic invasion. And professionalizing the Roman army while leaving the logistical responsibilities in the hands of generals would not only make the Roman state an unstoppable war machine, but also gave the generals power to influence politics to such an extent it would destroy Rome.